Hi Taurus, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a bonus tarot reading, which is definitely intended to be timeless. So whenever you stumble upon this video, it's meant for you. But I do want to take this moment to thank you so much for joining me, but of course to like this video. Do leave me a comment about your situation down below, and share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to this lovely channel if you haven't done so already. But when meditating on your energy overall, the message that came through was frustrations lead to important discoveries. Frustrations lead to important discoveries. So let's get started and do some shuffling. Alrighty, let's do some shuffling so we can pull some cards rather from the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck for our lovely Tauruses. Thank you, Spirit. What do we have for our Tauruses? We're taking that one. What else do we have for Taurus? Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, in this order. And we're going to pull a couple more. They want just the 5. Bear with me. Let's make sure these are looking good for the camera. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Perfect. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 8 of Pentacles. I'm hearing many discoveries and frustrations lie within your work environment, or while you're plugging away towards the completion of certain goals. For a lot of you Tauruses, I feel you are very frustrated with your career or the progression of which at this time. And Spirit's saying, have patience, my friend, be one with the process. Have patience with yourself and those around you as you make your way towards certain important discoveries about yourself and your purpose in this lifetime. So we're beginning with the Knight of Wands. Doing things your way is beginning to prove worthy, giving you certain results that you almost don't expect or other people around you don't expect within your work environment, outside of that, as you sort of march towards certain self-discoveries or discovering certain truths within your Taurus world. I'm hearing how to get a handle on this or that. As you sort of try to march forward, you are trying to figure this and that out about yourself and those around you, and your past, your present, your future. All the meanwhile, I'm seeing in my mind's eye you sort of putting your wand down almost forcefully, without meaning to come off as forceful as you are at times, but trying to make a point to others that you are done putting up with their BS, or you're done allowing for your situation to unravel in a messy way, trying to figure things out, given that past situations or recent situations have unraveled in a way that have left you extra frustrated, a little bit all over the place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just in general, and just feeling as if you don't fully know how to move forward, even though you intuitively do know. And so it's at this time, wherever this lies within your timeline, Spirit and the universe will push you to look within for those answers. If not, trust your team of guides, which are always with you, to figure out how to take those next few steps, or to simply figure out how these frustrations are going to lead to certain discoveries / truths that you're needing at this time. And now I'm hearing, how come that never worked out? It feels like as you're trying to figure out how to move forward, it's going to be really hard for you to not focus on certain past situations that didn't pan out exactly as you'd hoped or wished. And Spirit's going to sort of try to draw you back into the present moment to make the best out of what you do have at hand, in front of you, that you're wrapped up in. Even if it may not be completely ideal, realizing that everything that transpired or didn't was meant to be, and that to once again make the best out of what you have, and to simply look forward at the end of the day. Moving on to the Wheel of Fortune. As soon as you are able to sort of let what happened or didn't happen be and figure out that, you've already sort of, to an extent, learned what you needed to, you've already concluded certain past chapters or situations that were meant to be wrapped up to begin with. And once again, as soon as you make your way back to the present moment and focus on the bright future you have ahead for you, you'll start to realize how easy it is to come to certain conclusions or discoveries, discovering certain truths once again. And you'll start to see that wheel begin to turn for you. At times, realizing that you get frustrated because the wheel won't move or certain areas of your life aren't progressing as quickly as you want to. But I'm seeing someone almost put their foot in the wheel, and that spirit saying that's you at times. And whether it's hard to admit or not, it's you sort of putting things to a halt out of fear or frustration, or maybe due to certain negative habits that need to be thrown out the window at this time. How come things can't just unravel smoother at times? And spirit saying the frustrations, the difficulties, the obstacles are all meant to be all purposeful. And it's moving forward where you'll start to realize, well, if I did this or I didn't do this, or if certain energies weren't surrounding me as much, or I wasn't wrapped up in certain situations as often or in general, the wheel would be moving that much quicker. Things would be unraveling and progressing in the direction they're meant to. And spirit's saying, well, it's these realizations, these discoveries, side by side with your own personal, I want to say adjustments, to your habits and ways of being, that will all help this wheel move in a much smoother way. And now I'm hearing, be you, be true to who you are and who you're becoming as you progress and move towards all that you deserve at this time. And we're moving on to the moon. And now they're saying, as I'm being drawn back to the imagery, you're going to find yourself shining in a different way if you haven't already. And it's going to kind of throw people off guard a little bit, but it's like we're all meant to grow and develop and change as individuals. And so as you shine in just a slightly different manner than you were previously, let people adjust how they need to. If they need to take a step back to grasp it, let them do so. You're changing, my friend, and that's a good thing. Don't forget it. We're moving on to the moon. As you move forward, as I started speaking upon you shining differently, I got a little bit nervous, a little bit on edge, and it might be those people around you who aren't quite comfortable with how you're evolving. Or I find that certain energies, once again, or situations wrapped up in moving forward, will leave you a bit on edge and therefore end in a bit of an emotional state for you. Now I'm hearing, who am I? And you might feel a bit conflicted as to who you're becoming or how you're evolving. And those around you may not be helping by being a bit confused or not understanding where you're heading. And there's part of you that's just like, well, I don't fully know either. So how do you expect me to kind of have you fully understand if I don't have it all, figured out just yet? And Spirit's saying, take a deep breath, Taurus. It's okay. You're not meant to have everything understood and figured out now, right? And that's part of, once again, where your frustration lies. But it's all leading towards you figuring things out piece by piece. It's almost like you have to view it like a puzzle. You're finding one piece, day by day or week by week, month by month, whatever pace it ends up unraveling for you. You can't expect for the whole puzzle to be put together in one day or just in one section of time. And everyone's on their own destined timeline. And it's these reminders that will flow in from Spirit and the universe to kind of put you at ease a bit, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just to help you breathe again, right? It's these difficulties and obstacles that you almost focus on too much at times that leave you on edge or ready to explode emotionally or just simply a bit depressed. And you're only human, my friend, right? But there are certain energies that you surround yourself with constantly or too much that where you've learned in the past time and time again that they aren't healthy for you. And so asking yourself, well, how do I fix this moving forward? And it's going to be different for all of you, whether you be the Queen of Swords and eliminate them all together, or just simply take a step back and develop new boundaries. And that can go for situations as well. Everyone being given that we're talking about Tauruses, but there are so many different types of Tauruses out there. And so you need to understand how to move forward with those difficult energies or situations, understanding to an extent that you're once again still developing and grasping a better understanding of who you're meant to be and what works for you moving forward. And feeling like I'm now grasping that that came out maybe a little bit confusing, and that might be how you're coming off to others at times. Feeling as if your emotional or mental state is just a little bit all over the place, kind of feeling a bit shuffled. And so for you, it's kind of hard to slow things down or portray or express yourself in a manner that other people can digest easily. And so to meditate or implement certain self-care routines to make it that much easier to get your point across or to explain yourself. Center yourself, ground yourself, and remember that once again, you're only human. And those who you're dealing with, even if they don't show it, are dealing with their own BS or their own emotional stuff at times as well. So give yourself more credit at the end of the day, my friend. And we're moving on to the second half of the spread where we have justice. I'm hearing things will balance out, have faith. Have faith. It's at times when things feel really difficult or weighed down, or your frustration gets the best of you, or other factors in your life get the best of you, that you need certain reminders that will flow in from spirit and the universe, that the scales will balance out for you, that justice is yours, that your life is panning out and unraveling the way it's meant to, even if at times it feels a little bit all over the place, or you simply feel that way mentally or emotionally. Your time is coming, even if at times it feels as if it's happening too slowly, or you doubt that it's happening in general. Space will benefit you at this time, needing to give space between you and other individuals, energies, or simply situations. Some of you desperately needing a vacation or a break from the realities, the difficulties that you face so consistently. As the scales start to balance out for you, you'll begin to discover new things about yourself once again, but those around you as well, feeling as if you almost want to teach them about who they're meant to be in this lifetime, feeling as if as a Taurus, you're destined to be ultra intuitive. You're destined to allow for that to evolve side by side with you, realizing that that's part of who you are. It's part of who you're meant to be once again. And being aligned with the Knight of Wands, they're saying just this one. It's once again part of what's going to help you march to the beat of your own drum, or march towards what you deserve or what is meant for you in this lifetime. Even if at times you don't feel like you fully get it, right? It's kind of being who you're meant to be once again, but just kind of figuring out along the way. Reminders coming through from spirit and the universe, expecting this, that you don't have to have it all figured out to keep moving forward, or to keep striving for new and improved situations in your life. At this point, feeling as if now that you're getting a taste of the scales balancing out for yourself, or reminders of which, you're re-evaluating almost everything in your life, and that's okay. As you see things progressing in a beautiful way for yourself, even if at times it feels a bit messy, you can't help but just understand that it's, or start to understand that everything's unraveling once again the way it's meant to. And I'm hearing now, accept that you're stronger than you know, or than you give yourself credit for at times. And you'll start to realize, or it'll kind of click moving forward, that people around you see you in that light. And if they don't have a place in your future, if we're being completely honest. And it's you at times that needs to sort of take a hangman approach or hangwoman approach, and adjust your perspective on yourself and who you're becoming once again, and accept that certain discoveries are part of which is you discovering that you need to view yourself in the highest light, in the most beautiful, optimistic light, understanding that you have been through a lot, And not everybody understands what you've been through, which came out in the Leo reading that I just did. But they're saying to move on to the last and final card, where we have the Three of Pentacles. And it's interesting, we were just talking about other people seeing you in a better light than you see yourself in at times, because it feels as if moving forward with this card, you will start to see people in awe, or simply noticing you improving and just striving for bigger and better things, no longer settling for situations like a job or a relationship or friendships that were just, you know, iffy or maybe unhealthy in general. At times you would settle and just thinking, you know, well, what if better doesn't come along? Or, you know, this felt it comfortable once upon a time. Or even if, you know, there is that little bit of comfort, but the unhealthiness sort of overlaps, you know, and starts to outshine the bit of comfort that you experienced in that situation. And so it's Spirit saying, good job, Taurus. You should be striving for bigger and better and no longer settling. And that's a part of you growing and developing as an individual. And therefore, you're leaving people sort of shocked at times, but that shock will sort of lead to that state of awe, them jaws dropping and people just being like, okay, wait, that's Taurus? Okay, all right. A new and improved version of Taurus. As you discover or continue to discover who you are and what you're meant to be in this lifetime, don't question how great your life is meant to be or what you're meant for, right? And it's okay to admit that at times you're not perfect and nobody expects you to be, and they shouldn't expect you to be, because let's be honest, they're not either. And perfection is overrated. And at times to put that amount of pressure on your own shoulders is unrealistic, right? And so it's these kind of moments where people see you in that beautiful light. It reminds you to once again see yourself in that strong, amazing light once again. Horribly put, but to also just release that pressure a bit and understand that you're still figuring it out as those around you are doing just the same. They're saying not to show the alignment just yet. It feels like at times you're going in circles trying to figure things out, but it feels, when you can, moving forward, stop and allow yourself to meditate and reassess where you're heading or how you're going about your approach to certain situations, regardless of what that is for you, and simply reflect for a hot second in a positive light, very briefly, on the progress you've made, in order to give yourself the credit you deserve once again, as other people seem to want to give you that credit. Allowing for yourself to remember that once again, the certain frustrations you've been dealing with will have been annoying or just making things more difficult for you than they need to be, but it's all leading you to certain, once again, important discoveries, and allowing for things to unravel the way they're meant to, right? Being aligned with the Moon card and the Wheel. Reminding you that certain emotional times or certain difficulties and obstacles that you've had to overcome have led you to become a stronger, bolder, improved, more mature version of you. And once again, allowing for things to fall into place or start to progress in the way they're meant to. So to remember to embrace these frustrations moving forward more so, as everything improves and falls into place as they're meant to. All right, Taurus. So with that said and done, I hope this reading was truly helpful. As always, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope you have the most amazing day, week, and month, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Taurus.